Joining us now to discuss, Congressman Reschenthaler, Republican from Pennsylvania. Congressman, it's good to see you today. We see you're in your D.C. office.
Have me on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're waiting to vote on the bill here a little later on. What stands out to you in this proposed legislation?
Yes, well, right now I'm in my D.C. office, and we are in the process of voting, but we're voting by section in alphabetical order to practice social distancing. But what we're voting on today are really two things. One, a rule change to really allow individuals to vote from home by proxy, which I'm adamantly opposed to. And two, the so-called HEROES Act. And I use the term heroes lightly because this would really only be a HEROES Act if your heroes were Mao Zedong and Che Guevara. I mean, this is really a socialist takeover, an attempt of taking over our election system and bailing out states where we have governors that refuse to reopen and allow people to go back to work.
You know, some have described the HEROES Act as Nancy Pelosi's wish list here, Speaker Pelosi's wish list. I was reading through it. We've got, $3.6 billion for mail-in voting, $20 million for arts and humanities, $100 million for domestic violence programs, bank loans and financial services for the cannabis industry. Again, this is going towards coronavirus relief, right?
Yes, so this is a far-left liberal wish list, and we call this, in terms of inside baseball talk, we call this a messaging bill because there's zero chance of this bill actually getting passed. It's not even going to run in the Senate. The president would never sign this into law. So this is a way for the Democrats to message to their far-left radical base. They stand for all these far-left radical positions. And you mentioned cannabis. Cannabis is actually mentioned 68 times in an 1,800-page bill that's allegedly about the COVID response, yet patient is only mentioned something like 16 or 22 times. So that shows you how skewed this bill really is and how unnecessary it is. And you mentioned about the mail-in voting. They also want to allow same-day voter registration while at the same time forbidding states to actually enforce voter ID laws. So there's really a built-in recipe for voter fraud. That's really shameful, and that should scare everybody.
So clearly, at least these items really are not dealing with coronavirus relief. We've heard from Senate leaders that this is basically dead on arrival when it arrives at the Senate. President Trump saying himself he's going to veto it. So what's the point of this all, other than just to send a message? I mean, Americans are really hurting right now, and they do need some relief.
Americans are hurting, they need relief, but we passed relief in the third phase, and we had a 3.5 phase, which supplemented appropriations to PPP and EIDL programs. That has actually put money in the hands of small businesses and in employees. We could look at another round of direct payments to individuals, but this is not appropriate. The money from 3.0 and 3.5 much of it still has not yet been dispersed. So there's really no need for a fourth phase until we assess where the money is being sent. But what really this is it's indicative of how far left this Democrat Party has moved. This is no longer the party of JFK. This is no longer your grandfather's Democrat Party. This is now the party of far left liberals, AOC, Omar, Tlaib. They're the ones that are shifting this party so far left. And you would think a lot of Democrats would stay in the middle. They're not. Watch the vote today. I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of Democrats vote yes on this bill. And Nancy Pelosi might be using it to message to our far-left base. I can tell you that House Republicans are going to use this vote to go after Democrats that are in swing districts, because if you campaigned as a moderate and you vote with Nancy Pelosi, we're going to come after you and we're going to take back the House.
Hey, we saw it out in California. We saw that seat switch just this past week. But we do want to switch gears and talk to you about your home state, Pennsylvania here. President Trump putting some pressure on Governor Tom Wolf to reopen the state during a trip to Allentown yesterday. Listen to this.
We have to get your governor of Pennsylvania to start opening up a little bit. You have areas of Pennsylvania that are barely affected, and they want to keep them closed. Can't do that.
You think any chance Governor Wolf will listen here? You know, he's threatened some businesses if they do consider reopening, not following his plan.
Governor Wolf has totally overreacted. We were told early on that we had to flatten the curve so we didn't overburden our healthcare system and so we didn't run out of beds and ventilators. And I was all for that, and we worked together to make sure we flattened the curve. that curve has now been flattened. And what we're seeing is Governor Wolf and so many local officials and state officials, unelected bureaucrats that are working in health departments, have turned into petty tyrants. And they're taking out their frustration on small businesses. People are hurting. They want to go back to work. They want to put food on the table. And unfortunately, Governor Wolf and so many others are just going after small businesses, while at the same time Governor Wolf mandated that nursing homes accept residents that tested positive for COVID-19. That led literally to thousands of deaths in Pennsylvania. About 68% of the deaths came from nursing homes. And it's because this fiat from a petty tyrant that sits in the governor's mansion that is in the ivory tower, not assessing with any kind of science what's going on, and is taking unnecessary steps. But I want to congratulate President Trump for leading, for coming to Pennsylvania. Juxtapose that with Joe Biden, who's hiding in a basement. It's time for Joe Biden to get out of the basement. Let's see him. President Trump is all over the country, taking affirmative steps, leading. That's the kind of leader that we need in the White House.
All right. That's Congressman Guy Reschenthaler. We appreciate you coming on the show today. Always good to talk to you and hear from you. Have a great weekend.
Emma.
Yeah, you got it.
You too.
Thanks.
This is Congressman Guy Reschenthaler. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe right here and check out some of my other videos right here. Don't forget to drop us a like or leave us a message in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks for watching.